Good morning, folks. It's Lindsey Huddleston back in the building with another SPS Monday Motivation. Feeling great. If you watched my timeline yesterday, I got in 17 miles with the bros. Shout out to my Sands, Dr. John Higgins, Amato Allen, and shout out to my brother Will Daniels, representing the frat Epsilon Xi. Shout out to Rod Wilson. We know you was down for. You had a little health issue. Glad you get back on track, man. But really enjoyed it. It was a great time. Body feels good. Numbers looking good, folks. For all my folks still checking in with me, my numbers are coming in close to normal, as normal as can be, considering. And I've been insulin free. I don't know, man. I haven't taken an insulin shot since last year, 2 weeks after my diagnosis. So with that, lifestyle can help you when you're dealing with these health issues like diabetes, and I encourage that lifestyle exercise. And I got Michelle Mimi Watkins in the building. How much fun did I have with you guys over at Cody High School last week? Enjoying talking to your athletes, very bright young people with great futures, not just in track and field, but just going forward. Michelle, you've done an excellent job being a great role model. They're so very fortunate to have you leading up their coaching staff over there. And thank you for making me feel so welcome as always. And it was great to see you and what you shared talking about these current issues today. So speaking of that, what is today's topic? It is envy versus admiration. Envy versus admiration. And where did this come from? I got my brother Jack Tripper. Brother, we overdue, man. I guess if I need to holler at you, I need to come over to Soul on Ice on Livernois with Cigar Nails is set up on a regular, my man. I got to fall through, brother. No worries, it's a matter of time. I'll fall through. See, you had a good host of folks over there. You're doing a great thing with that. You and so many of our fellow Broncos representing, brother. But we was out yesterday doing. But Jack Tripper, that is what I'm talking about today is envy and admiration. Envy and admiration. It's interesting. I always tell you guys, I like to pull from the headlines or what's happening in my personal life, and I'll just give you some insight with that. Yes, sir. I know. We're going to put it together, baby. We're going to put it together soon enough. Well, I'll touch base and tap in with you. Now, this is interesting. I'll give you guys some insight into my process. Normally, it's like I'll get inspired throughout the week for a topic and go into it or something that happened, or it may be something that's just national headlines. But in this case, I had about 3 weeks to a month worth of topics that were kind of just sitting in my notes because I was hit with the idea. So I can't even tell you what actually inspired me, but I put it in my notes. So when I look back, I'm like, okay. But then when I started getting into it, it just seemed so purposeful. There's one of my riders right there, Dr. John Higgins. Good morning, sir. Got a good ride in. It was good talking to you this morning. See, this is how my guys get down. We rolled this weekend. I've already been on the phone and chopped it up with my guy, staying positive all the way around. It was so good being with you, brother, and you are one of the cornerstones for today's conversation. As I was saying, it was already in my notes. You know, I appreciate you, Tino. We admire you, too. And for the record, we did hit the Quinta Cut to Belle Isle and back. It was a great time. Tino, I admire you, and we're going to talk about that, man. We're going to talk about envy versus admiration. One thing I will say, and this is only for me, you know, we grew up and we learned words going forward, but so many times I think that we miss the real meaning of words, and I will never make it an issue about one's intelligence. It's just that we just really don't take the time to dig deeper when it comes to words, and so many words that seem synonymous. Oh, that means that. But when you really get into the breakdown of it, you can really understand. And I always like to go back just to the definition of a word. And I think it's okay to do that as adults. I'm approaching 50, 48 to be exact next month. But it's not. I'm not trying to insult anyone's intelligence by saying you need to go look up this word. Because when you look up at the word and get back to the basic root of it, it can be really helpful. So let's talk about admiration first. Tino showed me love, said he admires me. He said when we admire someone, we appreciate and feel inspired by what they've accomplished. Look at that. Tino saying he admired me, what I've done. We got out there and got the workout in. He admires me for the work I'm doing. I admire you, Tino. Tino is a hard-working man, has worked really hard, had an outstanding career, worked for the University of Michigan and retired and is doing very well and always a positive light at the sporting events and always giving encouraging word. I admire you just as well, brother, for all that you've accomplished. It's not lost on that. Some people go and they just work hard every day, and you may not see these big old titles and all these other things that come with it, but that man got up and worked every day, and they said, man, we're going to give you retirement money, man. You didn't earn this, and that's enough to be said about somebody. But also when we talk about admiration, we talk about admiration is a feeling based in appreciation, joy, and emotional generosity. When we admire someone, we allow our souls to feel nourished by what's possible for humanity and ourselves. Think about that. When it's somebody you admire, man, it's a good feeling like, oh, okay. You don't feel like you're giving up on yourself. You're feeling refreshed. You're feeling inspired. So one of my good brothers, Brother Musa, just attained his PhD, and we were communicating, and I was inspired by what he said. More importantly, we talked about what it means for his community and what he needs to do. Got Ed Banks up in this morning. Ed Banks, where I'm going to see you at, man? We got to get on each other's calendar, man, because you be making your moves, doing your thing, man. I need to be out with Ed one day, just sitting and chilling. Maybe we'll get up with Dinez and go over and show some love for him, man. I need to get with Ed Banks. It's my brother right there, handling business. Ed Banks, good morning. We was talking about this admiration, man, and this versus envy, So what I want to add is the basis of this information came from a great LinkedIn article that I read, Envy versus Admiration, How to Maintain Your Self-Worth by Joshua Miller. It's a great article, and I'm going to get into that a little bit because I think there's some great things we can take from that. Ed Banks said for sure. Nez, you see how we putting this together, man? We putting this together, brother. Go put this together for sure. So with that, I think I cracked my phone. So with that being said, what we're going to do is talk a little bit more about what's happening. So what do we get from envy? Envy is a feeling based on comparison, inadequacy, and pain. When we envy someone, we corrode our souls by tearing ourselves down for our perceived flaws. Key words, language is important. Perceived flaws, where we think we fall short. And notice how admiration was about nourishing the soul. Envy is the opposite. It corrodes the soul. A corroded soul, can you imagine that feeling? How it feels, how that makes you feel going forward or whatnot. Hey, Jack Tripper say, hey man, whenever, y'all ready? Okay. All right, we got something on the books, man. We're going to put it together. So we went from talking about nourishing your soul to a corroded soul. And that's what envy does. And the key word, I think, is perceived flaws. It didn't say whatever. We can be so hard on ourselves, our worst critics, but we have these perceived flaws. Also, when we envy someone, we see them as a standard by which we measure ourselves and find ourselves falling short. So the envy part is like, oh, my man doing that. And then you say, he's doing it, but I'm not. But I thought what was key in this discussion is when we encounter people who are more successful and powerful than we are, we fall into this admiration and envy. You got to make a choice. Oh, my man is doing it. Nez is making it happen. Ed Banks is making it happen. Tino is doing this thing. Michelle Mimi Watkins, coach, is making it happen. We got to make a choice. What do you say? We all get one thing in the morning. We get a choice. You can choose to envy or admire. So let me help you with that. I'm going to help you guys with this. I'm not going to just leave you out there. In his words, referring to Joshua Miller, who wrote this article, when you improve yourself from the place of love, and then self-improvement becomes a form of self-compassion. They both merge together. I want to repeat that. Stay with me. I think this is powerful, folks. When you improve yourself from the place of love, then self-improvement becomes a form of self-compassion. They both merge together. Let me use two of my brothers on this timeline. Do Ed and Dinez, Jack Tripper, that is. Jack Tripper could have been out at the events, seeing people smoking their cigars. He liked to smoke cigars. He liked to have a good drink on hand. I know my brother. I watch my brother. I know him well. He could have sat back and envied those people living that lifestyle. Man, these guys out here smoking and drinking. Man, they ain't thinking they that. But instead, he took the route of self-improvement. He said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take my passion for casual cigars, for drinking good drink, sharing with friends. Actually, I'm going to create a business. Cigars by Nez. I want to create this business. I want to go into a form of self-improvement. And that became a form of self-compassion. So not that my man Nez was envying anybody. I'm using that as an example. But if that was the case, he chose the route of self-improvement, created his own business. Now, he may be everyone's envy. But also, he's one people admire. They look up to him and they are inspired. Me and my brother Nez, not only can we talk about all kind of stuff, we can talk about just being in business. We can talk about the things you got to do to go forward. Ed Banks, he looked around years ago and probably wasn't happy with what he was seeing with youth sports. So he said, man, I'm going to get involved, man. I'm going to do some coaching. I'm going to do some refereeing. I'm going to become an official. I'm going to take my intellect and my passion for the sport and come help these young people. He looked around and said, you know what? I want to make some other thing. I want to create some other business for myself, whether it's trucking or whatever it may be. My point being is when you make that commitment to self-improvement, When you say, okay, what can I do to better myself? That can help you be able to better admire people and not envy them. See, it's going to be hard to admire somebody if you sit in rock bottom and your soul is corroded because you haven't done anything to do. Where's your work at, baby? You got to put some work in somewhere for something to get something to be able to move on. So all I want to say to you folks is that understand the difference, that if you find yourself in a position where you're envying someone, what can we do instead, right? What I'm going to leave you with, that's right, Huddleston Solution. I'm going to leave you with a solution. There are many ways to improve your self-image. Below are a few that I found work well when applied correctly, referring to Joshua when he wrote this article. He talked about be mindful of your internal story and change the narrative when you find yourself lacking confidence. When you find yourself lacking confidence or feeling low, or better yet, finding yourself envying or hating on somebody, you got to change your internal story. That comes back to you got to put the work in. And you can't expect to turn on the TV and it's just going to happen. It's going to be like that. Also, turn on a switch and it's going to be like that. Use powerful affirmations the correct way. I tell you guys all the time, language has been powerful. I did my affirmations this morning. I talked about Dr. Lindsay Huddleston, PhD, right? Because I'm in my program, but I'm putting the affirmations out, just writing my name like that because that's how it's going to be in the short amount of time. Dr. Higgins comes on and says, and if you're in an emotional rut, do the work to get out of the rut. You got to work your way out of it, man. You're not getting away from the work. You're either going to have the low down feeling from not doing the work and not achieving, or being tired from working. But boy, I tell you what, we rode 17 miles and my body feel good. It's a different kind of feeling, man, all the way around. And let me just show you what it looked like when I was with my guys yesterday. There we go, getting ready to hit it. Dr. Higgins, Will Daniels, Mato Allen, and myself. There we are on the infamous rock, baby, with the beautiful skyline behind. Thank you to the nice family that took the pictures. It was a sister out there. Looked like it was a mother, grandmother, daughter, and a little baby, and a little dog. The little dog was running things. But those are my guys. And what I want to say also, too, as I get back into this list, let me finish the list. I want to make one more point about that, is, and I appreciate you guys staying with me, is he said, big fun. It was big fun, brother. Enjoyed you, man. Big fun. Also, guys, I want to say, as we talk about what we can do, using those powerful affirmations, identify your competence and develop them. You know, I'm learning more about a particular theory called positive psychology. And what it does is, instead of the basic psychology of trying to deal with issues of mental health and mental illness, positive psychology focuses on your strengths. Dinez focused on his strength of being a very social guy, being an intellect, but also bringing people together. He focused on the strength. I think so many times we work on, well, I'm weak in this, so I got to work on it. That's fine. But your strength can allow you to explode through the door. Focus on your strength, right? Also, exercise daily. Hey, don't even got to say no more about that. And exercise is parking a little bit further out in the parking lot. Don't be trying to be all up front looking for that tight spot. Back it on up and walk it in. That's exercise as well. I know everybody's not going to do 17 miles on Belle Isle and DeQuinta Cut and all that on a regular, but I'm saying there's still something you can do to help you. That helps that brain start functioning the right way. Also, practice forgiveness of self first. We can be so hard on ourselves, guys. I have to tell so many of you, whether it's my athletes or the parents of the athlete or whatever it be, you got to forgive yourself. Oh, I hold myself to such a high standard, but it may be unrealistic. My brother Jack Tripper got something to say. A lot of people are unsatisfied with the results of their life. Well, come on, man. Come on. And when they see individuals prospering, it strikes a nerve instead of naturally being happy for them. Yeah, you said it, brother. You said it. Come sit right down here next to me. But the whole point is that you don't even know where somebody is in the process. You see them up, or you see that, oh, we did 17 miles. You're like, man, I can't do 17 miles. Well, at one point, I was only doing a couple miles. So you can't look at somebody's progress. You got to look at where they went to get to that point. And then just say, man, I'm just going to work on it. And don't get so caught up in hype. I'm just going to work on it, brother. You put it down just right. So I appreciate you being here and sharing that. Also, too, learn to accept compliments as a means to build confidence. See, that's why I go with the group I'm with, because, excuse my language, we talk shit, but we don't talk slick. Huh? We talk shit, but we don't talk slick. We can talk about what we experienced when we was pleasant online. We was talking about our times at Western, hanging out with Dinez, Ed Banks, all these type of folks. We can talk about all that stuff, but we don't say nothing slick to somebody that's kind of degrading them or going against their character or something like that. We don't do that, not at all. Jack Tripper gave me the strength, baby. That's it. That's my man right there, family right there. Michelle says we never see someone's full journey. We don't. And it's not even for you to see it, because if you saw it, you probably wouldn't want no parts of that. Because that journey, Michelle, includes what? Valleys and peaks, ups and downs. All those type of things. John says, come on, it's never hate speech. Well, easier said than done, John. Some people can't help it. Some people because they're not content with where they are, it comes out. Power is in the tongue. It comes out, and they say little nasty little stuff, and it comes out. It's never like that with my guys, from Donez to Ed to my frat brothers. You just make that kind of bond, and maybe that means that you got to be mindful of the people you with. I tell my daughter at a young age, I said, pretty soon, baby, when you get your license, you can drive. Your friend circle gonna be different because you with who you want to be with, not who you feel you have to be with. And finally, we'll say this: remember, you are not your circumstances. You got to discern fact from fiction. We all got a story to tell of how we came up. I want to thank my mother. I got a chance to go spend some time with her as a single mom. She made it happen for my brother and I. And my brother rest in peace, but she made it happen. So regardless of what was going on around us, we weren't our circumstances. Yeah, it may be this or it may be that, but that wasn't me. And that's what you got to realize too, folks. You're not your circumstances. So when it comes down to envy versus admiration, if you see somebody prospering and you feel that in your soul you didn't feel that you were moved in a positive way, you felt something, there's some things you got to work on. And it also may just simply be, you got to put some more work in. Because when you busy working, you don't got time to hate. Work and hate don't come together. You see somebody handling their business, you ain't go hate, you go congratulate because you know what it takes. But that's okay, folks. We're here to become better people, better men, better women, better, husbands, better, wives, better fathers, better sons, better daughters, all those type of things. And if you're not perfect now, like I said last week, life isn't perfect until it's over. So you just want to work on that. Michelle says, I tell my children, don't let your circumstance dictate your life's outcome. Yeah, because for many of us, we can look at where we came from and where we were and our surroundings and, the ashy streets, and say, that's who I am. But no, this is just where I come from. That's not who I am. Because I determine who I am right now. And it's not a title that makes my identity. It's who I am and who I decide to be and who I work towards being. Who I work. You gotta put in the work. Guys, you gave me a whole 17 minutes to rock with you guys. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the feedback. And I'm just so grateful to have such a great amount of people that I can not only talk to, but I can spend time with. And all those people I named, look forward to touching base and seeing you guys. I want to wish you nothing but love. Have a great day. Have a great week. Have a great month. Have a great year. Have a great life. So Lynn Tells with SPS. See you later. Peace.